Now we're going to make hamburgers and grilled veggies. We're going to start with sweet potatoes. I already rinsed them. You should do the same. Then cut the ends off the potatoes and peel them. Before we start with the rest of the veggies, we're going to start the grill. Your parents must be here at this point. Ask your parents to start the chimney so the coals will be hot enough to cook our meal. Now let the chimney sit for about 25 minutes. If you just want to have a parent watching and you want to do the work, you can put the coal on top of newspapers at the bottom and then light on fire the newspapers at the bottom. This will help the coal become hot and smoky. Now let the chimney sit for about 25 minutes. Now we are going to work on the onions. Start by cutting the ends off and similarly to the sweet potatoes, peel the onion, except just peel about 1/2 of the onion, then cut it in half. Once you have it cut and peeled, separate the rings and put them in aluminum foil on the less shiny side. Then drizzle olive oil all over the onions and sprinkle salt. Then fold the foil into a packet to later put on the grill. Now I'm going to use green beans. Mine are pre-cut and rinsed, so I just have to put them in the foil with olive oil and salt. But you can prepare any veggies you want. Just remember to put them in the foil to grill. Now let's continue with the potatoes. I cut my potato in cubes, but you can keep them in slices, even in halves if you want. Now the coals should be ready, so you can dump them out into the grill and use tongs to spread them out a little bit and then put the rack over them. Then put your veggies, except the onions, on the rack around the edges and leave them for about 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, you can put the burger patties and onions on the grill. Check your green beans. Mine were not ready, so I left them in. Now leave everything for about 4 minutes. After the 4 minutes, flip your patty and put the cheese on top. Leave again for 4 minutes. And now your burgers should be ready, and you can put your patties on the buns, and then take your veggies out. This is how mine turned out, and these were our meals. We'll start by adding 1 cup of flour, 1/2 tablespoon of baking powder, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Whisk that together and then set it aside. Now, in a small bowl, whisk together 1 egg, make sure not to get any shells, 1 cup of milk, and the melted butter. Now whisk it and make sure the egg is really mixing well, then set aside. Now grab the flour mixture again and try to make a little hole in the middle. Now that you have the little hole in the middle, grab your egg and milk mixture and pour it into the hole. Now mix it together using a spatula. Make sure you really mix all of it together. No chunks of flour. Now go to the stove, and at this point you should have an adult with you. You can use a pan on the stove, but I will be using my griddle. Turn on your flame to medium heat, then spray the pan of griddle with some cooking spray, or you can use some melted butter. Now, while you let the pan heat up, grab a 1/4 cup to scoop your pancake batter, as well as a spatula to flip your pancakes. Now you can start scooping your pancakes. Remember, you can do whatever size you want. I just did about 1/4 cup of batter. Now, let the batter sit there for about 3 to 5 minutes on each side or until golden brown, and the raw side should be bubbly. As you can see here, the bubbles are on the top, so that means they are ready to be flipped. As you can see, when I was flipping my second one, I kind of broke it, but don't worry, that's okay. You can just throw away that little piece or keep it if you want. Do whatever you want with it. Once your pancakes are done, you can put them on a plate and you can keep making pancakes until all your batter is done. Now, as a bonus, I'm going to teach you how to make a deviled egg. Make sure your egg is peeled and get a knife and a cutting board. Cut your egg in half the long way. Take out the yolk and put it in a bowl and put the rest of the egg to the side. Now, add about 1 spoonful of mayo to the bowl. Then grab your grated cheese and put however much cheese you'd like. Once you got it in there, mix everything together until it's nice and creamy. Then, if you'd like to add some extra spice, you can add some paprika. Once mixed, grab your egg halves again and use the creamy mixture to fill the holes. Now we are going to make crepes. Start with a small pot and turn the flame to medium-high heat. You might want an adult's help. Pour in 1/2 cup of milk and let it sit until it's boiling, which means the milk will be bubbling. Putting a lid will help the milk heat up faster, so I decided to do that. Once your milk is boiling, turn down the heat to medium and add a 1/4 cup of shredded cheese. You can put whatever cheese you like. Now whisk until all the cheese is melted into the milk. Once the cheese is melted, you can remove the pot from the heat and let it cool. Once it has cooled, transfer it to a bowl and mix so the milk and cheese don't separate. Now you can add your eggs and mix them in and make sure that everything is fully combined. Once combined, add 1/3 cup of flour, a pinch of salt, and 1 tablespoon of sugar. Then mix until well combined. Now add in your oil. This will help the crepe not stick to the pan so much. Now you want to start heating up your 10-inch pan over medium-high heat. Let it sit for about a minute or 2. Then pour 1/4 cup of batter in your pan and swirl your pan so the batter creates a thin layer at the bottom of the pan. My pan was a little big, so I had to add more batter, but you can use whatever amount fits your pan. Just remember, you can add, but you can't take away. Now let it sit over the flame for about a minute or 2 until the edges start to curl. Once the edges curl, you can flip the crepe. My first one got stuck to the pan. You may want to add some cooking spray or melted butter. Once they are done, they should look something like this. Now for the filling. In a new bowl, put 1/4 cup sour cream, half a teaspoon of chopped chives, and mix well. Lastly, add pinches of salt and pepper to taste. Now mix it all together. And now you can spread it on top of one of your crepes, as I'm doing here. And then I will show you how to fold it up like a burrito. You want to start by folding both sides in, then rolling it up from the top or the bottom until you have a little roll. We're going to make sugar cookies. These are the ingredients. Take them out and measure them. First, cream the butter and sugar. Once creamed, they should look something like this. Then add vanilla and almond extracts. Add an egg and then mix. In a separate bowl, you can combine the flour, baking powder, and salt. Mix. Then slowly add the flour mixture to the wet mixture. Once the dough is made, put it on a floured surface. Before you start making your cookies, spray your baking pans with cooking spray or rub melted butter on them so the cookies don't stick. Next, roll out your dough and use cookie cutter to make your cookies. You can use whatever cookie cutter you want. I just found one that looked similar to a flower and decided to use that because that was the closest one we had to a circle. Keep making cookies until you fill your pan and make sure that all the cookies are about 1 inch apart. Then bake for about 6 to 10 minutes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. They should look something like this. Today you're going to make this easy summertime soup. It seems pretty bad based off the ingredients, but trust me, it's good. Just blend all the ingredients together and they'll look something like this. Then pour it into a bowl and you're done. Enjoy!